Hey there, I'm Alyssa, and this is Speak Brown Girl, where we speak our truth on Black women, relationships, and religion. I'm a divorced mom of three littles, a digital marketer, and a theologian. I'm a feminist, womanist, and a strong Black independent woman. I like my comedy sarcastic, my traveling frequent, and my dancing a little hood.
And I'm Starr, a nonprofit professional by day and a real estate entrepreneur by night. More importantly, I am a new wife, a sister, a daughter, and a friend. Connoisseur of spicy food, good coffee, and Black culture. I stand for the gospel, Black liberation, and head wraps. I am unapologetically a Black Christian woman.
And I'm Marvy. I'm a senior administrative assistant, actress, and a woman of God. I enjoy game nights, exploring new places, meeting new faces, and anything animal related. Black music, culture, and church are where I find the most joy.
Thank you guys for joining us for season 2, episode 10. Today it's going to have a slightly different structure than normal. But before we talk about today's topics, we do want to remind you that Speak Brown Girl is now on YouTube at Speak Brown Girl Podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. And if you're a new or faithful podcast listener, don't forget to rate and review our show. In the what would typically be the topic part of the show, we are going to together watch this video I found on Facebook. I'm sure it's viral everywhere. And then we are going to react together and give feedback and pause the video and comment if we need to and give our honest opinions about this video. My other podcast hosts have not seen this video. So, or maybe they have
Allegedly.
since it's viral. But hopefully they haven't seen it, and so they will be able to give you very honest response as we watch it.
I think I have an inkling of what it is.
Yeah.
But I have not watched the video, but I have heard commentary, if I'm right.
Okay. But before that, we're gonna start on our unpopular opinion.
Right, so today's unpopular opinion, we are talking about personal information and or political preferences being shared at work. So there are those who feel that should be allowed. What are your thoughts, ladies? Do you think that you should be able to share your preferences of your political party affiliation? And if so, do you think that you should be able to be fired for that voicing of your party affiliation? Why or why not?
Starr has the facial expression.
No, I want you to start, Alyssa, because you put this on here, so I'm curious about.
I personally don't like to talk about politics at work. And it's not because like I don't want anybody to see me differently, but I don't want to see anybody else. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I don't like to talk about personal information at work anyway, but the culture of today's workplace makes it seem as if in order for you to be a good cultural fit, you have to share personal stuff, and we need to feel close and, connected to each other. And I don't think that I need that to do my job effectively. I don't need that to do my job effectively. Would I share my personal preferences? No, I wouldn't. Partially because more than likely I'm in majority white spaces and they're not going to agree with them. And so all it's going to do is it's going to create like this, what's the word that I'm thinking of? I don't know, but I know with my one job, ever since he basically was like, Trump isn't that bad of a leader, blah, 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 blah. And I respectfully was like, well, other people would not agree, people that do not have access to certain human rights, that do not have access to, healthcare, things like that. And he was like, oh, you're right, I'm sorry. But ever since then, I noticed that he started treating me differently, and so I don't outright come out and say, yes, I am a Democrat. Do you see the color of my skin? I am a Democrat. even though they're obviously Black Republicans. But I just don't think personal information at all should be shared. I don't need to tell you my kids' names or whether I'm married or single or what's going on in my dating life. But I think a lot of jobs feel like they want to know these things in order for it to see, like, oh, we would work better together if we knew each other better. But it's like, no, you just want to know like an alternate version of myself that fits within your cultural like preferences.
What about you, Marvelyn? What do you think?
My job kind of has like a, I mean, people have shared on Slack, like anytime anything has passed, like their little emoji next to their name will kind of give you a hint as to what side they're leaning on. They were doing like little black hearts when Black Lives Matter was like on and popping, and like when what was it, the workplace, like the gay rights, there was something with the, I think it was the workplace, but there was something that was enacted for gays to be able to have some type of protection or covering. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
for employment. Like people were putting up the rainbow hearts, and then when Biden won, people were putting up blue hearts. So like people have hinted at things, but my job actually doesn't really want you to be really vocal. They like tell you to be very cautious, especially with social media. Um, which is why I didn't post for a long time where I worked, because I am involved in organizations like Color of Change, and I'm vocal there when I'm actually doing stuff. And I was like, I don't want no type of smoke with the job saying you're being too whatever, so I don't really care to share that type of information. However, it is like freaking just about public access. I downloaded an app that basically gave you the affiliation of all of your contacts. I'm like, what is this? Because like the whole point of it was to be like, reach out to your contacts to remind them to vote. And I was like, wait, what? Why do y'all have this access? Like, of course, like people are able to buy and sell that information, and it's available online for everybody. I just personally don't. I kind of think it's an invasion of privacy. I don't agree with that being public access. It is helpful when you are trying to contact your community. I have done a lot of volunteer work of texting, doing text drives to let people know, like when the census was going on, to make sure that people were participating in that. So it is good on that hand, but on the other hand, I just don't think it's necessary to have that information on your people, and to have your information out there like that.
Mm-hmm.
Star, what about you?
I think, well, when it comes to personal information, I think that that's like obviously like at your own discretion. Some people, just more private people, and completely separate their private lives from their work lives. I don't think that that is that important to share. I know that like, a lot of people. The thing, reality is, you are spending more time working than you are at home most of the time if you work full
Mm-hmm.
time hours. So sometimes it's hard to completely separate it because you kind of feel like a robot most of the time. Um, I'm more private. I mean, I'm reserved typically at work, so like it's something to share. I might share something, but like most of the time, someone close to me, I'll share it with like people that I actually have a relationship with, and they might share it. They'll ask me if it's okay to share something like the Regents Bank and Yahoo Finance thing. My supervisor asked me if it was okay for her to share. I was like, oh yeah. I wouldn't have done it myself, but okay, it's fine. You can share it. But I did share like when we were going to be on HGTV. Um, as far as now, when it comes to politics, I think it depends on what type of work you do. Because I think, like, for example, working in the nonprofit sector, so much of politics affects work. And so it's not easy to just be like, well, politics is, my personal thing. And then like I can do my job because like there have been, I've shared these things with you guys, but there have been policies that have been passed under the Trump administration that has like literally been counteractive to everything that not only my organization, but our sector, our homelessness sector has actually worked toward. And the Trump administration has like overturned or contradicted a lot of the work that people who are actually working to end homelessness have made progress on before that administration. So it's really hard for, someone who cares about like work and homelessness to really be objective, to so to speak, in the work when you can see the harm that is caused by a political party, a political administration, or what have you. And a lot of our work also centers around racial equity. So for a coworker to not affirm Black Lives Matter, and I just think it's kind of counter what our organization represents. So in that sense, I could see how that could result into someone being fired over their political affiliation. And political affiliation is not a protected class under the ELC. So someone technically could be fired for their political association and they wouldn't have any recourse for that. And I could see that's definitely a slippery slope. I'm not saying like it should, but I could see how it could be a hindrance to a lot of progressive work that are happening in some sectors for someone to be completely against the progression, which means that like you're not for the mission of the organization. So yeah.
So all in all, yay or nay? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I don't know if mine isn't as black and white.
Yours is in the middle.
It's not. I mean, it's very subjective, and it's definitely, like I said, dependent on the person, but also dependent on the sector, the industry, and it's a lot of context around that because my job is I cannot be objective.
Yeah.
Publicly.
Yeah, I would just say I personally think that political preferences and affiliation should be private. And like if like for Starr's case, if that goes against like what the whole mission of your work is, then I don't see how you in good faith could continue to work there.
Yeah.
That would just be dumb. Sorry, in my opinion. So yeah, I think it should be private, but if it's gonna interfere with your work, then go. Bye.
I agree too. Is that kind of like downward?
Yeah, it's like mostly because I don't want to like lift my arm all the way up. That's like a lot of work.
See that
This jacket
muscle?
is very
A
tight.
lot of muscle. So mine is down, obviously. But if you're in a workspace where you feel comfortable and y'all feel like friends and you feel like sharing, be my guest.
Be our guest, be our guest, be our guest. I just don't want to be there because it's gonna be cringy.
Cringeworthy. So now to our watch, react, and feedback.
Here we go. I look cross.
Can y'all see? Oh yeah, this is what I thought that you were talking about.
Yes.
Huh?
Now you know.
How long have you been making six figures or more?
The last 3.
Okay. Why do you need a man making six figures?
Because I'm finding out that the guys that I date, it's not working out.
What does that have to do with money?
Because I feel like I need a guy that I can respect and admire, and I'm ambition, and I want a guy that has that drive too. And when he doesn't, I find myself, encourage him like, hey, babe, you can do this and you can do that. And then,
all right. So in North Carolina, what percentage of the population, what percentage of men in this country make six figures or more?
I think it's like 5%. I'm not
closer to 10. So
okay.
10%. All right. So the question is, what do those men who make that kind of money, who all women tend to want, what do they want?
I feel like they want arm candy, somebody who can have more to bring to the table than just looks, but also bring balance to their life. I feel like I can help them out on
Okay, slow down. I'm not understanding. You said they want arm candy, then you contradicted yourself. But they want somebody to more than just looks.
Wait, what'd you say?
This is cringy.
What's cringy for you so far?
It's cringy for me so far because it feels like she is negotiating like a salary or something. And like, I don't know. Keep going.
He's going back and forth. She's like, he wants arm candy, but he needs somebody that can bring something to the table. And like, I just think I can encourage him. Like, sis, join the prayer team if you want to encourage somebody.
Arm candy, but something behind, brain with it. And
go ahead, keep going, Starr.
More in depth.
Do you know any men who make 6 figures or more?
My dad and my uncle.
Do you know any men that you are related to that make 6 figures or more?
Unrelated to? Yeah,
men that you are not related to.
She know what the hell
not
that
on
means.
a personal level.
So you don't know them. You don't know what they want, but you want them. Ma'am, I'm going to suggest that you really don't know what you want. And saying 6 figures is just something that you've got taken from out there. But I'm not hearing this rooted to anything. But what do you want ultimately? Do you want to be married, children, what?
Yes, I want to.
Wait. But he said that she got it from out there, but she started out saying that she makes 6 figures. So it ain't like she just pulled it out of nowhere. Like she essentially
also her dad and her uncle make 6 figures. So she didn't just pull this number out of her butt.
Yeah, she didn't pull it out of nowhere. That's actually really good that she has men that she was raised by and raised with.
And clearly they raised her with some business acumen if she's been making over 6 figures for 3 years.
Oh, is that what she said? I missed all that.
That was the very beginning. She's been making over 6 figures for 3 years.
So all she's asking for is her equal. She's not a gold digger. She's not asking for something
She's meet her on her level.
Yeah. But I don't like how he's trying to make her, and I feel like his line of questioning is like to make her look stupid.
Yeah.
Because like if somebody shotgunning questions at you, like I don't know, like like you're just like bouncing around. She doesn't even have enough time to really like fully develop a thought before he asks.
He's using keywords that are kind of like low key, passive aggressive, rude as hell, like condescending. Like they kind of like passive condescending.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't hear that she made 6 figures part, and like I feel like just typically I've seen videos where it's like a girl just trying to find a guy that's making 6 figures, and yeah, I could have sworn she said like something like, "Yeah, I'm ambition." I didn't hear that. I don't know, but either way, yeah.
Yeah, I heard she said that too. But what she said was when she's with men who have not made 6 figures. Let's just rewind it. Let's start from the beginning.
Worked out.
Because she said that she's like encouraging them and all this stuff, like essentially like
she's trying to get them to where she is.
Yeah, she's trying to like, it's like you're trying to build a man.
Building shit.
But I wonder what she does to make 6 figures though, because her language is a little, but she could have a speech impediment.
She has a pet care company or something like that.
Oh, so she makes 6 figures on her own.
She makes over $200,000 a year.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna start this.
And how long have you been making 6 figures or more?
The last 3.
Okay. Why do you need a man making 6 figures?
Because I'm finding out that the guys that I date, it's not working out.
What does that have to do with money?
Because I feel like I need a guy that I can respect and admire, and I'm ambitious, and I want a guy that has that drive too. And when he doesn't, I find myself, encourage him like, "Hey, babe, you can do this and you can do that." And then,
all right. So in North Carolina,
he cut her off when she was trying to explain her point.
And he is a butthole because she clearly has some business acumen, right? Mm-hmm. She clearly knows how to run a business, knows how to build a successful business. he's saying certain things to trip her up or make her seem as if she is not very intelligent. Clearly,
Right. What did she? What does it have to do with six figures? But she just said because when I'm with someone who doesn't, I feel myself trying to build them up, and she was trying to finish her thought, and then he shotgun another question at her. So it's to make her it's to make her appear stupid, like she don't know what she's talking about.
exactly, and to intimidate her and to talk down to her. He's basically super condescending right now.
Okay.
Okay, we can.
What percentage of the population, what percentage of men in this country make six figures or more?
And that question too was to make her feel stupid. I don't know the answer to that.
Exactly.
Also, are you saying because when you ask me that, are you saying, oh, because it's 10% of men that make six figures or more, I'm not deserving of one of them? That I should lower my standards?
I don't know that number, but my husband makes six figures. I don't have to know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get what I have to know that for.
Right.
But anyway, continue.
I think it's like 5%. I'm not
closer to 10. So
Okay.
10%. All right. So the question is, what do those men who make that kind of money, who all women tend to want, what do they want?
I feel like they want arm candy, somebody who can have more to bring to the table than just looks, but also bring balance to their life. I feel like I can help them out on
Okay, slow down. I'm not understanding. You said they want arm candy, then you contradicted yourself. They want somebody that more than just looks.
Yeah.
Why can't they want somebody who look good and that's deeper than looks?
How does she contradict herself
especially if that's been her experience? Because I'm glad we're watching this back now. Because first when I was watching, I was like, she don't know what she want. What is this? This is back and forth. But now that I'm like hearing and know where she's coming from now, my bad sis for judging you off the bat. Yeah, she needs to let her finish her thought.
Yeah, she can't finish her sentences, and that's why you're trying to trip her up. Now you could contradict. No, she says, I feel like they want arm candy, but they don't just want arm candy. She feels like that she can also compliment him deeper than that because she is a woman who also makes six figures, so she can like compliment this man well, not just look good and spend his money. It's really what she's saying.
And then just because she's not very well spoken doesn't mean that she's not intelligent. You keep interrupting her thoughts before she even gets them out, and you're invalidating her lived experiences. Asshat.
Yeah, I think that's also like, we can, because someone doesn't present in the way that we want them to present, it makes them not worthy.
Clearly, she know more than me. She make more than me.
Shoot, for real. Girl, you got $200,000.
I need you to tell me something.
How do I get I don't even like toes, but I will learn to do pedicures if that's what
I didn't say pedicure, I said a pet company.
Oh, a pet company? Oh, I thought you said pedicure.
Yeah, I'm
better because y'all know I love animals. So
I don't love it, but what I gotta do to make $200?
All right, let's keep going.
All right, because we got a while to go.
But something behind, brain with it, and more in depth.
Do you know any men who make six figures or more?
My dad and my uncle.
Do you know any men that you are related to that make six figures or more?
Unrelated to? Yeah,
men that you are not related to.
Not on a personal level.
So you don't know them. You don't know what they want, but you want him. Ma'am, I'm going to suggest that you really don't know what you want. And saying six figures is just something that you've taken from out there, but I'm not hearing this rooted to anything. But what do you want ultimately? Do you want to be married, children, what?
Yes, I want to be married.
Do you want any children?
Yes.
How many?
I have a son now, so.
Okay. How old is your son?
He's 13.
Where's the father?
He's not in his life.
I didn't ask that. I said, where's the father?
Well, he's not like in it like I would like him to be.
All right. So let me go ahead and take this down, ma'am. Men who make the kind of money you're talking about have options. And typically they don't want to deal with women who have 13-year-old sons who are used to dating men who this doesn't sound appealing to the kind of man you're talking about. I'm telling you what they want, and you're still saying, yeah, but I want them. They don't want you.
But I have been working on myself this year and booking your
okay, ma'am, but okay. 35, 13-year-old son with a sketchy father. Why would a man who's in the top 10% of earners who women across the country want that?
Because I have a lot to offer. I feel like
I am
what?
Fire.
What? So you speaking for all? Do you make six figures, sir? Are you speaking for all men that make six figures right now? You're rude. You're very rude. Have all the seats in your dark shadow of a weird apartment.
Yes.
What is the situation?
The nicest word I can come up with right now is.
What about like the people like Russell Williams that got like a baddie like Sierra? Didn't she already have a child? Like I'm like.
Right. She also was. She was a high earning woman with a son by a deadbeat father, and she's still. Now she's a celebrity, but my point is that it's not unheard of.
It's not impossible.
It does not reduce her value.
But how are you going to tell somebody like you were saying, like how are you going to tell somebody else what somebody else wants? You don't know every single black man in America that's in the top 10% of earners.
Right, man.
You don't know them. You don't know them. Okay. First off. Second off, how are you going to base a woman's worth based off of the fact that she has children? Like her worth does not diminish because she has children or because of her age. And now she's sitting up here trying to prove herself worthy of these mythical unicorn ass men who you could even have six figures and all this, and they're still terrible people.
Well, let's push
play. I think he's used to talking to women who want a six-figure man that don't make six figures.
Because that's how he like glazed over that. Like he's not talking to her as if she's wanting someone her equal. He's talking to her like she's wanting something that's so far away from her. Like he was like, "How many do you know? She's one. She has people in her family that's one. Why? What do you mean? I don't understand. Exactly. That's enough.
Why would you not want a woman to aspire to have somebody like her daddy? Like that's what we want for our community, to have like, upstanding men that are, raising wonderful women who are doing well for themselves and want somebody like their daddy. Like why is that so important?
But that's why he was cutting her off when she was actually saying this stuff, because he didn't have nothing to say back to that. But he was trying to make her look stupid. Like all the things that she said in the front end, he was like, "You pulling this out of nowhere. There's something you heard." No, it's not something she heard. It's something she has literally in her bank account, and also who she has closely in her circle, in her family. This isn't something she pulled out of the air. And it's not like that she's just like saying that, "Oh, this is just what I want. I'm not compromising." She said that she's dated men who didn't make six figures. And they weren't compatible with her because they weren't at the same space that she is in life. That is not unheard of. And who's to say that that there aren't six-figure men who also have kids, who are also over 35? Like these things you're talking about, these unicorns.
Who is a high earner? Who's looking who is a high earner that has an older kid? Like, oh man, our kids could, we could co-parent this thing, have
or someone who doesn't want kids and who would rather be with someone who already has kids, because so that they don't have to have kids. Like it's just, and like Marvelyn said, he also doesn't have to be a black man, because if she's just dating black men over with earning six figures, she's pigeonholed herself. But who says that she has to just date black men? Anyway, let's keep going. We got some time.
I can even make it through. Jesus, this man.
You want your son to, if you had a son making that kind of money, would you want him to bring home a woman who had a 13-year-old son from a sketchy father? Or would you prefer him to get a woman who had no children, was younger, and easier to get on his program?
His program?
Depending on his age.
Like literally, he said if you had a son that was making this. So the only criteria for the man that he's talking about is his money. This woman has the money. So what is he talking about? The correct analogy is if your son was making 6 figures and he met a woman who's also making 6 figures, why would you have an issue with that?
He coming from that old school mentality, and he probably is he married? I'm trying to see if he got a ring on his finger. He coming from that old school mentality that a lot of men have today. That like they're like, oh, you know, I don't want no baby mama drama. You know, I don't want.
Those are typically men who don't have money. Those are typically men who don't have money.
Those men that be like, only women that come to my table, blah, 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 blah. Them the ones that have the worst table to be sitting at.
Yes, no money, still talk about 50-50 everything.
Yeah, and I will say, I mean, if he wanted to make a point, I think that from what I have heard, obviously I don't know it for certain or know the statistics, I have heard that a lot of men that do make, you know, that are high earners do tend to look for women that aren't as successful, that they do tend to lean towards arm candy. But I wouldn't say that that's all men. I wouldn't put that on all men that are in that high earning category to say that none of them are going to pick somebody who is their equal, that they're all just going to, you know, pick whoever is the most attractive that doesn't have any children. But I do know that there are a lot of men that think that way. And I think that he's coming from that perspective, which is very limiting.
But he's speaking to her as if she's just some random woman who just said she wanted 6-figure men. Like that's what is pissing me off. But even if she did want that, who said that she can't get that? Even if she didn't make that much money, I don't think you have to make 6 figures to want somebody who makes 6 figures, especially as a woman. But let's keep going.
See what I mean? See what I mean? This goes so deep. They will even. Should have been an easy question. No, I would not want my son to bring. I want the best for my son. That should have been the appropriate answer.
Yo, that's this reminds me of the conversation we had with Daryl Marvelyn.
Oh my God.
Daryl, listening to this when he asked me a daggone question talking about you should want the best for your. Am I not the best?
Exactly.
Why would I not want my son to have someone who's like his mother? Do you think I think that low of myself?
This man got some deep-rooted issues, because basically if you don't agree with him, then you're wrong. The answer has to be his answer, because that's what he just said.
He said that should have been an easy question. No, it's not, because I think I'm too high of myself to say that my son deserves somebody that's better than me. That's what these men be listening to. That's why I be thinking like, where y'all be getting this from? They be listening to fools like this. And it's always the broke ones. I bet you he broke.
That is bullshit.
Listen,
you should want the best for your son.
Oh my God.
Of course.
But and are you thinking back up?
If he brought home back up. I feel like I'm the exception to the rule. But
no, you're not. That's the problem. You all think you're the exception to the rule, but your life is proven to you that you're not.
My love life is not that good. I agree with you.
That's my point. And ma'am, and that's my point. You ladies all feel like, listen, you ladies all feel like you're the exception to the rule.
Oh my God. And
then when someone like myself comes along and gives you a dose of reality, instead of just accepting it, it's like, yeah, but I'm special. You don't know any men on this level.
Yes, you do.
That are not your father, that aren't related to you. That means you don't know these.
So when has that been a criteria before?
That was never a criteria.
Because before it was like black people, you don't have any generational wealth, you don't got nothing in your family, you don't come from nothing, you the only one. But now, like you have daddy issues. They love to say that we got daddy issues. But then when she don't got daddy issues, now that disqualifies her.
He's essentially telling her that she thinks too highly of herself when she
exactly.
Pretty much. He got a pinky
You
ring
don't know
on,
where
y'all.
to go get them.
Talk.
He's not even married.
He got a whole pinky ring with his Al Roker broke down self with his blue light. Sorry, continue.
You don't know what they want, but you're still saying, pick me. They don't want mid-30-year-old baby mamas. I'm trying to be polite, man, but they don't want those.
Can I ask you a question?
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Why is that so? Okay, go ahead.
Why is it so?
Go ahead.
From my point of view, I feel like I get what you're saying. They do have better options, but also those better options are younger girls. Those younger girls don't necessarily 20-year-olds are not necessarily attracted to 45-year-olds.
Bullshit. I'm 51 and I can't beat them off with a stick. That's another one on you lies.
First
No,
off,
younger women are attracted to older men.
You said something, Alyssa?
I said that sounds like pedophilia. That's gross. I think that that's completely gross when y'all be sitting up here talking about that you can't beat them off with a stick. Yes,
They're chasing them. They're not chasing you.
They're not chasing your old crusty behind, okay? Like you said, Marv, Al Roker, okay? They're not chasing you. And I think that that's gross that you're 51, you probably are divorced with kids. You're dating someone that's the age, or you're interested in someone that's the age of your kid. That is gross to me. 25, to me, you can't beat a 25-year-old off with a stick. First off.
And again, he keep cutting her off every time she's making a good point. She was like, that's true, but the likelihood of, like, we talk about 45-year-old men here, the likelihood of a 20-year-old, even if there are 20-year-olds, there are 20-year-olds who are looking for a sugar daddy. That's what they hit you up for, not to be your woman. They're looking for a sugar daddy, but there are most 20-year-olds are not. Most 20-year-olds, most people date people around their age, within 5 years, maybe 10 years of their age. So he's being disingenuous even with that when she's bringing up valid points. Like, that's true. But also, men who are 10 years my senior are not the top pick for a 20-year-old, because the 20-year-old could probably find a younger guy who still makes six figures in the late 20s.
A 20-year-old, 25-year-old, they're going to want a man with 20-year-old, 25-year-old stamina, not no 51-year-old that got to take that give you 2-3 pumps and he be done and then he out for the night. That's not going to last long unless you cashing her out.
Unless your money is long.
And that's longer than just $100,000. So when people say six figures, that's a big range. But if you just $100,000 six figures,
she's not about to be around for no $100,000.
No.
If she is, then she's sleeping with that 24-year-old that's in the dorm next to her, and I guarantee you that.
Very likely.
I guarantee you that. In college, nobody I knew was dating old men, unless they were doing it on the low because they were trying to.
And unless it was their sugar daddy.
Sugar daddy.
Unless they're trying to get him to pay their tuition.
And this girl don't need a sugar daddy. Anyway, let's keep on.
Yeah. Any man who's willing to be a sugar daddy is not the man you're trying to marry. Trust.
And if you got kids my age, I ain't trying to marry you.
I just want to know who gave this man a platform. Like, how is he even giving advice? Like, you're not even a good listener, sir.
Because men can do bare minimum.
You a relationship coach? You ain't even married. You ain't in a relationship.
You in the dark, sir. You're literally in the dark.
He got a mic and a suit, and he think that he's somebody.
And he's like, he got from Office Depot.
Carry on.
What are you talking about?
So can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So do you feel like a woman like me?
Uh-huh. What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? You cannot use 7.
Would I rate myself?
Just your face.
My face.
He told her she cannot use 7. I don't know if y'all heard that. That's why.
I didn't hear that.
I'm gonna rewind it a little bit.
He about to piss
me off. Just your face.
Bullshit. I'm 51 and I can't beat him off with a stick. That's another one on you lies. No, younger women are attracted to older men. What are you talking about?
So can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So do you feel like a woman like me?
Uh-huh. What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? You cannot use 7.
Would I rate myself?
Just your face.
My face when I wake up, 5, but when I put myself together, 6.
I
Okay.
would have said a damn
And how
9.
tall are you?
5'5".
Dress size.
I'm sorry?
Your dress size.
A 3.
Okay. So that makes you, if you give yourself a 5, that's average.
Yes.
So average looking women tend not to get high earning men. They tend to get average men.
So,
Did
But a high earning man can be an average looking man as well.
Also, we ain't even talked about the damn man's projected size, because most of the time if they're in the office all the time, they got that damn beer belly. I gotta be perfect, but he can be regular or fat or gross or ugly.
All we're talking about is this man's pockets. That's the only metric he's using right now.
And that's the only standard you gotta have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Breathe and digest. You're 35 years old and you can look around and see the world. You don't tend to see higher earning men with average looking women off rip. If you do see them, they got their average looking woman when they were both really young and he built his way up. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
All right, hold on.
I mean, my
6 figures mean 7 figures?
Because I don't know what he's talking about. Like when he said, all she said was 6 figures. $100,000 ain't.
You can make 6 figures as an account manager at Microsoft, and them regular ass men. So he talking about millionaires. He got.
I think he's talking about black men, because a lot of black men don't make 100. But typically, generally speaking, like if you're talking about 6 figures and you're just talking about 100K, that's not really high, like super high earning, like the top, echelon who has arm candy. Arm candy means like you need to have money to be having arm candy.
Means you're raking in $750 a year, like, you know what I mean, over $500,000.
Yeah, when she doesn't, like, her working is not even a thought. 100K, like that's just if you put it in perspective, the average household, like the average person's salary is $50,000 a year. So if two average earning people get together, they make $100,000 a household. That's like, so $100,000 is like kind of average, especially if you're talking about, so a guy making $100,000 by himself is obviously higher than average, but it's the way he's talking about it. When he's talking about these high earning, he's talking about like, you're talking about like athletes kind of money, like you're talking about like Bill Gates money. Exactly. And that's not what she said. And so he's gaslighting her to make her like think that she's wanting something that is not achievable, but she's already achieved it. So why can't she be with someone who also has achieved it? It's not something like, it's not that hard to make $100,000. I mean, when I say that, I'm not saying like it's not that hard for someone who is college educated, who is ambitious and who's working toward, whatever their career or business, to achieve $100,000 at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like, generally speaking. So that's why I'm like, why is he trying to make it seem like $100,000 as the floor is just like this thing that's like, oh my gosh. Like,
I just feel like he's preying on the fact that she's not confident. Like, it's clear that she is not as, vocally self-confident. I think that she thinks that she's beautiful, but she rated herself on the lower end, and I think that because like she's a little bit more timid and is being respectful and is not jumping all over him, he's just preying on her, which is unfortunate.
But if she was jumping on all over him, then he would have said that, nobody wants you because you're loud and ghetto and you aggressive. But she's not aggressive at all. But in this conversation, I feel like she should have had a little bit more bite, because he would have gotten one. I wouldn't have called and asked for your advice. No way.
I would have hung up like 5-10 minutes ago.
Like she believe in some of this because she's still going back and forth with this man for 12 minutes. 12 minutes?
I don't even know how I end, but I know I would have went off on his ass. I would have been
You're
like,
talking
first
too nicely. I understand. I understand what you're saying.
I'd have been like, first off, if you're gonna ask me a question, you're gonna give me the opportunity to respond. Just like I'm respecting you with my silence, you need to respect me with yours. When I'm done with my point, then you can comment or ask me another question. That's why you're single now. You're too sassy and aggressive. I don't give a damn.
Like it's always gonna be an excuse because she's none of that.
She's none of that.
She's none of that.
So sweet. She even rated herself lower. Let me tell you, if you tell me I can't say a 7 and I'm saying a damn 9, okay? Because I'm the shit to me. You don't have to be. You know what I mean? You done made her rate herself lower and made her, you in this conversation in 8 minutes, this is how much damage Black men with this mentality can do to Black women. She came in here feeling like this, and in 8 minutes, you have her rating herself at a 5. When she's clearly worked hard to get wherever she is and to have like that respect for herself that she has. And you're trying to convince her that she's not worth it.
Body is not average. So,
but ma'am, you please don't make me say it.
Say what? I really just wanted some advice. I love your.
I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
I'm taking it in, but
okay, but you're not accepting the fact that okay.
This nigga just said average.
Average looking women
at best.
Average looking woman who's older. Average looking older woman with a 13-year-old son. Average looking woman with a 13-year-old son with a sketchy baby daddy. This gets worse every time I say something. And now you're asking for a man who's in the top 10% of men. You don't qualify for one.
Wow.
And you're making, I mean, I don't want to have to go there, but when you put in all these other factors, why can't you just get a man that's an average guy?
Sometimes I feel like in order to fully submit, I have to feel like he's in.
Well, then you're gonna die alone. How about that? Let me just cut to the chase, ma'am. You can feel like what you want to, but women like you die alone, straight up. Because you think you're better than the men that you qualify for. And the only reason, honestly, ma'am, that I can see a woman like yourself really thinking you deserve more is because you earn more money than most people around you in North Carolina. But if your ass worked at the post office, you would not think so highly of your opportunities. And that's the reality. Men don't care about your money. Not the kind of men that you want. We don't care about your money. It ain't ours. We care about the fact that you are older and you got kids. And you're average.
He is a bitch.
And your reality of your life has showed you that. And men are not rushing up to be stepfathers to 13-year-olds.
This man.
What would be better is if you honestly sat down and asked yourself, what value can I bring to a man?
And I know that what I can.
Well, all right. What value? What is it?
What is it? I can help him with his business. I'm very business minded on the end of helping organize, hiring. I plant into planting my own garden, so I can definitely plant into improving my etiquettes with just self-improvement and working on myself. And
ma'am, at 35 years old, here's what you told me. I can help him with his business. Due respect, ma'am. And I mean no disrespect, but 20 to 30% of people own businesses. What about the 70 to 80% of men who don't own them? That means that doesn't matter.
Well, you talk about
that means nothing to the average man. Then the next thing you said, I can plant. Ma'am, that means nothing to most people because we go to grocery stores. Then you say self-improvement. I gave you a shot at saying what you have to offer to men, and you said nothing that we value.
What do you got? What
Oh
do y'all?
man, book a session, book a session, book a
All
session.
he
I'm
values
not doing
is
this.
clearly
Nope, 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 nope. I'm done. I'm done. I've tried to go around, but this has happened. The older you ladies get, the more you get set in your ways. Book a session because I don't want to do this in public, man. Because you seem like a sweet woman, but you don't. But you're not getting it.
okay. I'm done with him.
He said the older you ladies get, the more you get set in your ways.
And this is why you're single, sir, because no women your age want to date you.
So you're a mother effing B.
Wait, say it again?
He's a mother effing B.
Oh. Now, Pastor. Now, Pastor.
That's the nicest way I could say that. He was so rude. First off, if you are a relationship coach, the way you are very condescending. And the way that he even relays his message, he could say, well, I understand that you have all these things and you would like somebody that has these things as well. That's very understandable. Basically coming from where you're coming from, but then also you may meet a guy that may not have all of the things that you're looking for. And that may be a person that you may want to invest in case you do not find someone that has all of the things on your list. That is how you talk to someone. Like, his whole demeanor is just rude and disrespectful. And like, why would you treat somebody like that?
Yeah, why would you speak to Black women when you already know our stature in society? And why would you sit there and fix your mouth to speak so poorly of this woman? Like, who nominated? Let me not even go there. But anyway,
He doesn't. I mean, but these are men who literally benefit. What did he say? Book a session. These are men who literally benefit from continuing to oppress and tear down Black women and to make Black women feel worthless, because now this Black woman feels like that she can't achieve anything past a Black man like him, like that he is the prize, that he is like, you don't need a Black man, you don't need that man.
Definitely
There are plenty of men. And so his pockets are benefiting from tearing down women, specifically Black women, specifically older Black women, specifically women with children. Any woman who's not young, thin, and overly attractive. I mean, it makes no sense because most people don't fit that. So, like, your math doesn't make sense. If most people are average, then how does your math, like, there's it's just, it doesn't really make any sense, especially for him to be a relationship coach who has no credentials, who does not have a successful relationship, who does not have, like, for me, what pisses me off is why she would even call into this show and continue to let this man berate her for 12 minutes. Like,
but sis, clearly she says she watched his show before and she loves his show. And this is not the first time that he's done this. And he literally went viral from tearing down a Black woman.
That's so terrible.
Oh, you can plant? Well, we got grocery stores.
Like that, like everything she said, we're
got to offer to me.
I can't wait till sis like finds like this amazing man who appreciates her for her, and she could be all over social media and it will go viral, and this man will have to go kiss somebody's tail because
this might help her find that man because it goes viral. And some man like, oh, she seems like she has.
Oh, I don't know, a 13-year-old kid. Cool.
Yeah, she can help me with my business. She can plant us fresh veggies that are actually organic, and we don't have to spend money at the grocery store. Like, this woman is a freaking pioneer woman. You know,
stuck at about 70, 80 a year. She can probably give me the leverage I need to take me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm over that. That was ridiculous.
It really frustrates me that Black men build businesses in their lives by tearing down Black women.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. I don't even know why he has this platform. Somebody needs to report it and take it down, or at least direct him to the nearest B&H so he can get some proper lighting. And maybe he needs to go see a therapist because he don't know what he's saying at all. He got some issues, clearly. He got baby mama drama, clearly. Yeah.
It's clearly crazy that we are still always Black women the butt of the joke.
Mm-hmm. It's terrible. All right, ladies, final thoughts.
I feel like I said it all.
Don't let men speak to you like that, ladies. Don't stick around for that foolishness. I'm pretty sure this woman's father was like, listen, sweetie, you can be anything that you want to be. Go out there. The world is yours. Go out there, make your businesses happen. Look at how our family has done. I'm sure that man is uplifting his baby girl. And then this man has the nerve to come tell her, ciao, bye.
And then she tried to rationalize it by, oh, well, my body ain't, insinuating like she has a really nice body. And let me tell you, you don't have to do all of that. You don't have to say, oh, well, I'm small and I have these, body parts that appeal to men. Look, sis,
you have value in and of yourself.
Not in how much you make, how you are shaped, how much you weigh, what you have to offer a man. Okay, your worth is not in that. Mm-hmm. That made me so mad. So mad.
I'm mad you even shared this. Why you made us endure that painful 12
because I had
minutes.
to watch it yesterday. And that's why I was like, oh, y'all gonna share this with me because I am on fire. And I watched a video from a gay Black man that I'll send to y'all personally if y'all want to watch it. And he tore this guy a new one. And he was tired.
I saw that one.
It was by Laban.
I don't know the guy's name, but was he talking about how this man didn't have credentials and stuff like that?
I don't know.
I don't know if he was gay. He didn't come off as he. I mean, obviously, I don't know someone's sexual preference, but he didn't present like a stereotypical. So I'm not sure what you mean. Like, did this man say that he was gay, or did he present?
I know him. I follow him. He's gay.
Is he a fashion person?
Is he a fashion person? He's a business owner, so he has like multiple businesses and stuff like that. But he went in and was like, I am heated. I am tired of Black men tearing down Black women and trying to bring them down so they can, stomp all over them. Like he tore it down, and it made me feel better that I wasn't the only one that was like, somebody was like, well, that's the truth. No, it was rude.
Rude and out of place. Know your worth, ladies. Know your worth.
And don't let these ninjas tell you what your worth is.
About you, especially if you got your own money. Sis, go ahead. Go ahead and be a boss. And God will hopefully send you a boss as well that's going to love on you and love you for who you are, how you are, and what you bring to the table, whatever that looks like.
Period.
You definitely don't need to be getting no advice from no single Al Roker looking man sitting in the dark with a pinky ring on. Definitely not.
Definitely. And it ain't that hard to get a man who make over 6 figures.
It's not that hard.
It ain't that hard. That's the bare minimum. And if for him, if that's the only qualifier you're looking for, it'll be really easy. Now, when you're trying to find one that makes 6 figures, that's a good person and has other qualities, that's a whole nother thing. But clearly for this man, that wasn't criteria. So for his criteria, that's not hard. You just have to know. You just have to like do your you do your job scale research before you online date someone. You see like, what's his job title? Understand. Okay, that job makes this amount. You can weed through it. Check the LinkedIn profiles when you meet somebody, see what their job titles are. If that's something that you really care about, you just have to get more strategic and being in spaces where people who make more money like frequent, friends.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Like, yeah, you can find a 6-figure guy. Is he nice? Do you like him? Because that's harder.
Yeah, that's harder. But we ain't talking about all that right now. We're just talking about his pockets.
Somebody you like and get along with. That's harder.
That's work.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, I was dating that one guy for a while. No, we never actually went on a date. He was trying to date me, and I was like, it seemed kind of really a-hole-ish. And all he would do is talk to me about how much money he makes and all that stuff. That don't faze me because you're still an a-hole at the end of the day. And so one day I was just like, hey, I'm not interested. Have a good one. And he was like, oh, okay.
Oh, you don't want me? What? Like what?
And I'm gonna say this is another tip if you are looking for. I've said this before in this podcast, but just in case someone just runs across this episode because of the topic, if you really want someone who isn't like the a-hole type of men who make a money, look for squares. Look for people who come off as squares and unassuming. Like they just present as unassuming because those are people who typically don't know. Like they just aren't as, they're just more go with the flow. They don't they're just more unassuming. Look for a
They
square.
don't know that they're the prize.
They don't know that they're just living life, enjoying it, man. But then you have those guys, like the stereotypical ones, like come from Morehouse, that's in a frat, makes a lot of money, thinks they're cute, be all over, Instagram and trying to go viral doing different faces and dances and beard stuff. Those ones, just avoid those ones. Look for the squarish ones, unassuming. The ones who are really unassuming, you wouldn't even know that they make that much money because they're just so regular presenting. You're like, oh, look at that. Look at that. But you'll get better with practice. You'll get better with time. You might kill a few frogs.
Regular presenting.
Regular presenting. No, because men who present like they have a lot of money, those are not the ones that you want. The flashy type, the ones who know.
Like friendly guys or like guys that are like, they have to be seen or like, I don't like that.
That's the type of guy that this guy was.
Huh?
That's the type of guy that this guy was on video. The guy who, he put on a suit, got on a pinky ring. He think he's somebody sitting there with blue lights on, 50-something, still single.
Making stupid little metal thing swirling on the thing.
That thing, I was watching it the whole time. That was what I was looking at the entire time he was talking.
I wanted to knock it over.
He can't beat it. So with the 20-year-olds, he can't beat them away with a stick. No, they probably think you Al Roker or you're an old black celebrity man. Now, Idris Elba, okay, when 20-year-olds gonna want him, but
damn near got a 20-year-old, almost 30.
Well, let me tell you, most 50-year-old men don't look good enough for young women to even look their way. So again, you're talking about, I feel like he's also talking about above average men as well. If you're talking about men that are over 40 that have all of these options, those are above average men. Those are not your average men.
I sat at a desk.
We know some that are high earning and are not beating them off with a stick. They're out there. Just let you know.
I sat at a Microsoft dinner. I sat at a Microsoft dinner with executives, high-level executives. And one of the guys that I worked with said, Alyssa, will younger women date me? I said, no, you don't make enough. I said it just like that. And so then the regional director of Microsoft looked at me and he said, I've had this Amex, this black card for this many years. Do I make enough? I said, not only do you make enough, you look good. Oh, and you're older than 40. So you would have to, I did say that, yeah. So you would, but the point was, not only would the money have to be there, you also have to have the looks that would attract a 20-something-year-old. Because you mean to tell me I am giving up like 20-year-old guys who have these hot bodies, who have these washboard abs that they ain't did nothing for, that, that can
wake up, do a push-up,
that can go up some stairs and not have to worry about like breathing hard or high blood pressure or anything right now. for you, and you have to like pull your tuck your tummy in when you go to work. No, you have to be an above average 40-year-old man.
Yeah. What? How many above average? How many men above 45 have like abs and like look their bodies look? That is above average. That is not your average.
That's not accurate.
That's his
And
point.
she's
He
not
was
so-
like,
she's
that
not about to
man was saying that, like, oh, you need to find yourself an average man. So
But no, but he was talking about average man money wise.
yeah, but also probably average looking. Yes,
But she can find an average looking man who makes at least 6 figures.
And I'm gonna say she's not even just average looking. You're 35. You're a size 3. And you got a 13-year-old, like, you above average, sis. You make over $100,000 a year. You make over 200. You're above average, sis. Like,
I just need her to like upgrade her circles, because like her social circles outside of her family too. Because if she needs to come to this man for advice and she says she don't know any men, like, you need to be around people, not even just men. I'm talking about just friends and people who are doing something, who are just doing more, so you don't feel like that you are not. I don't know, because he made her feel like she's not enough because she doesn't know any of these type of men. But there are a lot of people out there, like, being friends with you guys and being friends with other people who are doing things, like, those things keep you motivated. They keep you, keep you fresh. Having like people around you that can encourage you, that you can like celebrate with, who are also celebrating with you, who have friends and who you can do things with. Like, I just feel like the fact that she had to come to this man's talk show to get advice.
yeah.
I feel like that there's so much more out there untapped, at least socially, that I feel like that she could do. And also like the self work she was saying, I'm like, you need to do some more self work if you're sitting here letting this man berate you like this and you don't see a problem with it. She didn't deserve that. But she didn't deserve that, sis. But go find yourself some high earning friends, even if they're just dear women. And
stop doubting yourself. Set your standard and don't flinch at it. Like, no, set your standard and let that be your standard. I said what I said.
She know what she wants.
She knew exactly what she wanted. That's why he tried to play her like she didn't know what she wanted. I'm like, she said exactly what she wanted. I understand what she
came in, and the issue was that she's dated these quote unquote average men, and there have been issues. So she's here trying to get some advice. Like, I don't know, like, the men that I'm dating that are average, it's not working out. So you over here just telling me like, no, go back to these average men, even though it's not working out. That's what you deserve, and that's what you need to stick with. That's not what she came on there for.
How dare you think that you could get a man that you want? How dare you have standards? Like, you know how crazy that sounds? How dare you? Standards? Who do you think you are?
What you have to offer is a big salary, a small waist, a robust body, beautiful looks, planting
fresh vegetables,
fresh vegetables where you can help me be healthy.
Who do you think you
can
are?
Help me grow my business and grow me as a person. How dare you offer me such things and not get plastic surgery and alter your body and give your son up for adoption to attract a 6-figure man.
Yeah. Anyway. Yes. And that's a wrap.
All right, y'all. We done.
We're done.
Thank you. Knew that wasn't gonna be a quick episode. I don't know why you even showed us that video. Talk about it.
No, she said it could be a quick one. I knew it wasn't gonna be no quick one. That's why I wasn't trying to rush it.
All right, well, speak, girl.
Strong girl.
Out.